Hello and welcome to me yapping about films, possibly some TV. But today we're talking about February releases in the UK cinemas, which is currently 5 days late, but we'll ignore that. Very much so, ignore that. So, because I have some comments about February releases and apologies to make to certain studios. Tomorrow, as I'm recording this, it is the 5th of February, so the first couple of big releases come out tomorrow. Which by the time it might come up, it will come out, it will be the 6th of February. But first up, one of the big releases is Sent Help, directed by Sam Raimi, and stars Rachel McAdams alongside Dylan O'Brien. The film follows two work colleagues who find themselves stranded on a deserted island after being the only survivors of a plane crash. Very Lost. Which is comical because I bought the entirety of Lost on DVD and Vinted this week. Forced into close quarters, old tensions and unresolved grievances quickly rise to the surface. What starts as a fight for survival soon becomes a battle of wills and wits as they're pushed to work together if they want any chance of making it out alive. Despite the setup, it isn't a straight up horror, it's being described more as a comedy thriller, which feels very Raimi to be fair. And in slightly unfortunate running theme, Rachel McAdams once again has absolutely no luck when it comes to planes. This was a screen unscreened and a scream on screen everywhere else, but screen on screen in Cineworld. I unfortunately couldn't make it, so I still haven't seen this. Second up, also releasing on the 6th of February, is 100 Nights of Hero, directed by Julia Jackman and starring Emma Corrin, Nicholas Galtzine, Charlie XCX and Richard E. Grant. Set in a remote castle, the story centres on a fragile household dynamic between a neglectful husband, his young and innocent bride Cherry, and her fiercely devoted maid Hero. When a charming and dangerous house guest arrives, that balance is completely thrown off. As loyalties are tested and tensions rise, the film is described as becoming a dark fairy tale-like exploration of power, desire and storytelling itself, with a very stylised, almost mythic tone. Although it's finally getting released in February, it seems to be a very limited release. Despite appearing on cinema apps, many local Cineworlds to me sadly don't have any showings, including my 3 local Cineworlds. Which is a real shame for something this visually distinctive and something that I've been really wanting to see since it premiered at London Film Festival last year. Which is a shame. Especially hearing Richard E. Grant talk about it, and yeah, I'm hopefully see that soon. Even if the cinema screenings are betraying me. Also out on the 6th of February is Hamlet, which is directed by Anil Carrier, apologies, and starring Riz Ahmed, Morfydd Clark, apologies again, Timothy Spall and Joe Alwyn, who is funnily enough also appearing in Hamlet. This is a bold, modern reimagining of Shakespeare's tragedy set in a present-day London shaped by economic and political uncertainty. The familiar story is reframed through that lens, focusing on power, corruption and the weight of inherited responsibility. At its core, the film explores themes of familial. This is just me testing my speech impediment. Honour, moral duty and dynastic. My brain is too smart for my mouth. DK as Riz Ahmed Hamlet caught between action and inaction in a world that feels uncomfortably close to our own, is a contemporary take that aims to make Shakespeare feel urgent rather than reverent, less period drama, more political style thriller. The posters for this really enticed me to go see it. Still haven't seen it. Another 6th February release is Twinless, directed by James Sweeney and starring Dylan O'Brien, James Sweeney himself, and Lauren Graham of Gilmore Girls fame and Parenthood fame. The film follows 2 men who meet in a support group after losing their respective twin brothers. As they begin to form a close and unexpected intense friendship, shared grief slowly gives way to something more complicated. Both men are hiding long-buried secrets, and as those truths set the surface, the bond between them is put under serious strain, threatening to tear their fragile connection apart. Like a few films this month, Twinless seems to look to be getting also another limited release. But if you are lucky, it's technically possible to do a Dylan O'Brien double bill on the 6th of February, or after the 6th of February, pairing it with Send Help. If we go a week later, on the 13th of February, which is a big day for releases for films, like big films, there's a date in February that is struggling to get any screens for any film, which we'll get onto next. But the 13th of February is also one with the big releases this year rather than loads of releases. This is going for quality over quantity, I reckon. Whereas the 20th is just everything that wanted to be within the award circuit. One of the standouts for the 13th of February is Crime 101, directed by Bart Layton, and features a seriously packed cast, including Chris Hemsworth, Halle Berry, Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan, and Monica Barbaro. I'm so excited to see Monica on the screen again. Set against the sprawl of Los Angeles and the iconic 101 freeway, this film follows an elusive thief planning what he hopes will be the final job of his career, a high-stakes heist designed to be the score of a lifetime. His path collides with a disillusioned insurance broker who's facing a crossroads of her own, forcing the two into an uneasy collaboration. All while a relentless detective closes in, pushing the tension higher with every move. It's shaping up to be a slick, character-driven crime thriller with the kind of cast and scale that makes it one of February's must-see releases. And I can't wait to see it. Hopefully on IMAX. The 13th of February is also a big day for animation and film releases, with Goat from Sony Pictures Animation, which is the studio that also did K-pop, or the producers that also did K-pop Demon Hunters, and also Spider-Verse. The film is directed by Tyree Delahaye and features a packed voice cast, including Caleb McLaughlin, Gabrielle Union, Jennifer Lewis, David Harbour, Nick Kroll, Nicola Kilgan, who I've also met, see picture here, and Patton Oswalt. The story follows Will, a small goat with very big dreams who gets a once-in-a-lifetime chance to join the pros and play Rollerball, a high-intensity co-ed full-contact sport dominated by the fastest and fiercest animals in the world. His new teammates aren't exactly thrilled to have a little goat on their roster, but Will's determined to shake things up, change the game and prove once and for all that Smalls can ball. At his heart is a high-energy underdog story about confidence, teamwork and doing the one thing Will's never had to do before, believe he belongs. I tend to see all the animated films that come out anyway, but I am really excited for that one. However, the press for it seems very muted. Like, I haven't seen much advertisement for it out with the massive standee that are in cinemas. Also in February, finally, in the UK, is Little Emile, or The Character of Rain, which is an award circuit contender that's sadly been a bit overshadowed by bigger animation releases like K-pop and Zootopia 2, except in the BAFTAs because K-pop wasn't eligible. I love that wee fact. And it just proves that you need to release things in cinema to reap the rewards. You can't rely on streaming. Little Emile follows young Emile, for whom the world is a camp puzzling mystery until a miraculous encounter with chocolate sparks a wild sense of curiosity and imagination. As she forms a deep bond with her family's housekeeper, Nishu-san, Emile begins to discover the wonders of nature alongside the quieter emotional truths hidden behind her family's seemingly idyllic life as foreigners in post-war Japan. This animation style of this is absolutely gorgeous, and it looks like one of those intimate, quietly powerful films that rewards patience, and then I will probably cry at it. Let's be real. I honestly can't wait to finally watch it. And finally getting a release is The Day the Earth Blew Up. A Looney Tunes movie is finally getting released, and it is getting released on the 13th of February. Porky Pig and Daffy Duck, the original animated odd couple, find themselves thrown into hero mode with their usual chaos at a local bubblegum factory accidentally uncovers a secret alien mind control plot. Against all odds, the pair set out to save their town and potentially the entire world, all while trying not to drive each other completely mad in the process. It's a classic Looney Tunes energy, fast, absurd and proudly silly, and it's genuinely exciting to see these characters back on the big screen in a proper feature film. Plus, I will be making a point to go see this in the cinemas to prove a point to Zaslav and Warner Brothers and all the execs at Warner Brothers that Looney Tunes is still a valuable IP. Yes. Also, I'm confused on the release date for this one in the UK. Some places are saying the 6th, other places people are saying the 13th. Other people don't even have a release date at all for this in the UK. But it's Solo Mio. But see the TikTok campaign for this with Kevin James being Matt Taylor, the art teacher on TikTok. Ingenious, and has completely hooked me. And he's been doing it for months. It's one of the smartest, most ingenious studio promos for a film I've seen in ages, if not years. To be honest, it is so ingenious. I love it. Directed by Charles and Daniel Kinane. Kenian? I am so sorry for the pronunciations in this. I should have practiced before I started filming this. But here we go. The story follows Matt, whose dream of a perfect Italian wedding is shattered when his fiancée leaves him at the altar. Determined not to waste a trip, he sets off on his planned honeymoon across Italy alone, immersing himself in the country's vibrant culture, incredible food, and breathtaking scenery. And along the way, he meets Gia, sparking a journey of new connection and self-discovery. It's shaping up to be a charming, feel-good rom-com. I love a rom-com. If you know me, you know I love rom-coms. And gorgeous Italian vistas and plenty of heart. Yes. That's what I can't wait for that film, and I'm fully expecting good things. The TikTok campaign have hyped up. Also, possibly the biggest release of February, and the 13th of February, is Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights. Controversial. I'm a massive fan of Emerald's work and her very specific style, and yes, I'll happily admit I really enjoy Saltburn and will rewatch it. I rewatched it recently the other day there and thought Barry Keoghan as one of the Beatles is okay casted. My concern for him being a Beatle went away. Other ones still, jury's out. So this one is one I've been seriously looking forward to. This is Fennell's take on the Emily Bronte classic, and while I haven't read the novel, my relationship with the story comes from fragments that I studied in school for English, which always makes this feel like a fresh discovery, and I'm going in blind. With all the going in blind, but with the knowledge that it is controversial casting. The film stars Margot Robbie, who has been stunning on the red carpet throughout the press tour, and alongside Jacob Elordi, who I will honestly sit and watch on absolutely anything, including even if he was painting. If he was watching paint dry, I will watch him watch paint dry. Basically. And add in the Teeth soundtrack from Charlie XCX that have amazing. And the cinematography of Linus Sandgren, who also worked with Fennell on Saltburn and is known for La La Land as well. And this feels like a film designed to be experienced in a cinema, loud and immersive, and I can't wait to see it in IMAX, as well with my friends. Yeah. Can you tell that I'm buzzed for Wuthering Heights? Now on to the February 20th, which is absolutely packed, which is possibly due to the last day of being able to be contended for the BAFTAs. You needed to be released by the 20th of February. And I would also like to issue an apology to Studio Canal Plus, I think they're called Plus in the UK, and A24, who I was a bit harsh on when it was announced How to Make a Killing wasn't coming out here till the 13th of March. I can now see why. The 20th of February is absolutely packed, and I apologise. You were right to not have it out till the 13th of March in the UK. I'll admit. Anyway, let's get to the actual film coming out on 20th of February. One of the standout award circuit ones is If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, which stars Rose Byrne, who is getting nominated. Directed by Mary Bronstein and starring Rose Byrne, the film follows Linda, whose life seems to be unravelling on every front. She's grappling with her child's mysterious illness, an absent husband, a missing person, and a therapist whose increasingly hostile behaviour only adds to the pressure. As Linda navigates the complex web of crises, the story explores themes of grief, tension and resilience, all delivered with the kind of intensity and precision that make it an award season contender. Cineworld have also done a preview screening of this for Unlimited. I unfortunately also couldn't make that one, so I haven't seen this yet, so I'm looking forward to catching it when it comes out. Also on the radar this February, on the 20th of February, is The Secret Agent, starring Wagner Moura, who won the Golden Globe. Another film generating award buzz. Set in 1977 Brazil, the story follows Marcelo, a technology specialist trying to escape a mysterious past. He returns to his hometown of Recife. Apologies again for my pronunciations. Hoping to find peace, only to discover that the city is far from the refuge he imagined. The film delves into themes of identity, secrecy, and the inescapable weight of the past, with Moura's performance at the centre of its tense atmospheric storytelling. Another film due out on the 20th is Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. The trailer of this looks insane, and I don't know how to describe it apart from this wee bit that I've wrote, and watching the trailer I'm like, I need to see this to believe it. Directed by Gore Verbinski and starring Sam Rockwell, who we all know is up for anything. And his comedic timing, perfection. The trailer promises a wild ride in just over 2 hours of runtime, and from what we can tell, it lives up to that promise. The story kicks off when a man from the future arrives at a diner in Los Angeles, tasked with recruiting a very specific mix of disgruntled patrons for a one-night 6-block mission to save the world from a rogue artificial intelligence. Very topical. Alongside Rockwell, the cast includes Haley Louis Richardson, Michael Pena, Zazie Beetz, and Juno Temple, making for a high-energy, offbeat adventure that's as funny as it is thrilling. Definitely want to watch if you like your sci-fi with a dash of chaos. Also, not to worry if you're missing your A24 fix on the 20th of February, because How to Make a Killing isn't coming out until March 13th, because The Moment by Charlie XCX is coming out on the 20th. A film I've been tentatively excited for, as I am a fan of Charlie XCX, and I first seen her live at Tea in the Park in either 2016 or 2015, I can't remember the year I went. It was the first year that they were at Strathallan. Twin Atlantic and Avicii headlined on the Saturday, which was the day I went. So whatever year that was, I first seen Charlie XCX, and I've been following her since just before then as well, actually, because she was on CBBC. That's how long ago it was. I think it was on Sam and Mark. I first seen Charlie XCX. But yeah, because I'm a fan of Charlie and in her Brat Summer era. The film is a playful mockumentary following a rising pop star, a fictionalised version of Charlie herself, as she navigates the highs and lows of fame, industry pressure, and preparing her for her debut arena tour. With cameos from stars like Rosanna Arquette, Rachel Sennett, and Alexander Skarsgård, who just hosted Saturday Night Live. It blends absurd humour and a surprisingly emotional look at the cost of staying on top in the pop world. Pardon me. Fans of Charlie and her Brat Summer era, it looks like a sharp, fun and self-aware ride behind the scenes of pop stardom. Likewise, you're also not missing your Studio Canal fix on the 20th of February, because Cold Storage is hitting cinemas on the 20th of February. Directed by Johnny Campbell and starring Joe Kerry, who really doesn't seem to get a break between this and Steve from Stranger Things. Alongside Georgina Campbell and Liam Neeson, the story kicks off when a mutating, highly contagious fungus escapes a sealed facility. 2 young employees, joined by a grizzled bioterror operative, have to survive what's arguably the wildest night shift ever to try and save humanity from extinction. Cineworld have been running the trailer constantly for this every time I've been. It's guaranteed they'll see a Cold Storage trailer. And after all that teasing, I'm genuinely excited to finally see it in action and see the full context of the deer in the lift that's in the trailer. Also, something that's finally coming out in the UK on the 20th of February, which is possibly also moved to the 27th of February for a wider release, is the most snubbed film this award season. The Testament of Anne Lee. I think the snubs for this season contributes to the release schedule of Anne Lee, because no one's seen it to form an opinion on it to get the buzz for award season. Directed by Mona Fastwood, starring Amanda Seyfried, Lois Pillman, who I will also is another actor I will watch paint dry. Thomas and Mackenzie. The film tells the story of Anne Lee, the founding leader of the Shaker movement, who was being proclaimed by her followers as the female Christ. It follows her efforts to establish a utopian society and explores the Shakers' unique worship through song and dance, all grounded in the fascinating real events of her life. I cannot wait to finally see this film. I have refused to listen to the soundtrack and the score of it. It came out in Apple about a month ago, I think. I have refused to listen to it because I want to listen to it for the first time in cinema sound. So, yes. First day that's in my local cinema, actually. First day it's in Cineworld, I will go see it, but my Glasgow Film Theatre is also showing it in 70mm from the 13th of March, so I will also be there. I will put myself into to see that, and as aforementioned, film coming out the 13th of March. The final film coming out on the 20th of February, as there's so many, is Wasteman, which is another one I'm really excited for. The trailer looks insane. The tense, the drama and the tense of the trailer looks so good. Cineworld are also doing a preview for this film, which I will be going to see. I can thankfully make that one. And the film is Wasteman, directed by Cal McMahon. Apologies for that, I think I butchered that. And starring David Johnson, Tom Blythe and Alex Hassel from Rivals. The story follows Taylor, whose hopes for a fresh start after parole are thrown into jeopardy when his cellmate Dee arrives. As Dee takes Taylor under his wing, a vicious attack tests their bond, forcing Taylor to choose between protecting Dee and safeguarding his own chances of freedom. Yeah, it is one of February's most buzzed about releases, and I'm even seeing people in America talk about it. And it made me realise that I should really stop complaining about the gaps between American releases and UK releases, because the UK films I'm really hyped for, they don't get for months. Because I don't think America have got I Swear yet. They've just got Pillion for comparison. And rounding out on the 27th of February we have Sarat, which is another award buzz film. Story follows a man and his son as they arrive at a rave deep in the mountains of Morocco, searching for Marina, their daughter and sister, who disappeared months earlier at another party. Driven by fate, they decide to follow a group of ravers in hope of finding one last legendary party, and Marina amid the wild, hypnotic energy of the night. The film has already been generating award buzz, with its immersive visuals and emotional core capturing early critical attention. And obviously, rounding out February is Scream 7. The film has been controversial from the beginning, from the get-go, from production to press schedule. Yeah, including using AI for their press, which I disagree with. But there's no denying it is still one of the most buzzed about releases of this month, and it will be. A new Ghostface killer emerges in the quiet town where Sidney Prescott has tried to build a new life, and her darkest fears come true when her daughter becomes the next target. Determined to protect her family, Sidney must confront the horrors of her past to finally put an end to the bloodshed, shaping up to be a high-stakes, adrenaline-fueled horror entry for fans of the franchise and newcomers alike. I have never seen a Scream film in cinema. I've never got the chance to, and then I couldn't go see Scream 6 for whatever reason. I couldn't go. So I am tentatively hyped to go see a Scream film in cinema, because last year was the first year I saw Final Destination. I got the privilege to finally see a Final Destination film in cinema. So yeah, I'm slowly starting to see horrors in cinemas. I can only watch a horror film with all the lights on, with a blanket around me. I'm slowly tenting into seeing them in cinemas. Might also still take a blanket with me though. But anyway, this is your February releases in the UK, with me yapping about them. Apologies for yapping. But yeah, February is a packed month. So is March and April. To be fair, I don't think there's a quiet month of this year of films. January was slow, but also busy, but that's because all the December award season films finally hit the UK. This is the last dregs of the award season films hitting the UK now. But I don't think there's a quiet month this year for film. I think they're all jam-packed. And I actually can't wait. And I'm going to get my money's worth for my Cineworld card and yap away about them on here and on TikTok and on my other socials. I am at Texter1989 on all socials. Consistency. But yeah, hope you like my yapping. Any advice or things? I'm grassroots. I don't know what I'm doing. Please either leave it in the comments or drop me a message and I will respond. And hopefully improve. Yeah. Over and out.